bayan po natin ay nagrepresenta ng dokumento, halimbawa papuntang usually Middle Eastern countries like the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia or UAE. But the reality is, sa ibang bansa po siya pupunta, meron po siyang bagong trabaho na pupuntahan. Ang tinatarget po yung mga pa-expire na ang kontrata. Ang kababayan naman po natin sa kagustuhan po na magkaroon agad ng new work ay pumapayag sa ganito pong mga schemes. We've seen po, our people at the airport have seen a rise to this trend. Kaya po gusto po natin na ma-inform agad ang public dito po sa modus na to. Because this is a case of misrepresentation and obviously human trafficking. Because it's a way of shortchanging yung mga kababayan po nating OFWs na mag-agree po sa lower salaries, sa hindi standard na mga payments, salaries, and mga benefits po sa kanila just for them to get the work immediately after the expiry of their contract.
Ma'am, ano po yung mga hakbang na dapat nating bigyang prioridad upang maiwasan na po yung mabiktima ang ating mga kababayan sa human trafficking, lalo na po sa malalayong mga probinsya?
Yes, ang IACAT po ay made up of different government agencies, and there are government agencies po tasked to really reach out doon po sa mga kababayan natin, particularly in far-flung areas in the provinces po. Sa BI naman po, who is in charge of the borders, what we want po really is to have a massive information campaign. That's why we are always releasing information about trends, mga modus operandi po na na-encounter po natin sa ating mga operations, particularly sa mga paran, para aware po ang public na ito po yung nangyayari ngayon, ito po yung mga uri ng offers na natatanggap ng mga biktima ngayon, and this is the result. Ito pong mga ganito pong ang nagiging resulta ng ilan po sa mga illegal offers na makapagtrabaho. That's why we're really putting the message out about these new trends on human trafficking and illegal recruitment para maprotektahan din po natin ang ating mga sarili.
Ma'am, muli, ano-ano po ang mga senyales ang dapat nating tandaan para malaman na illegal recruiter na ang ating kausap?
Alam mo, Ms. Nina, madalas ngayon online ang illegal recruitment. Hindi na po yung kagaya ng dati na magbabahay-bahay or merong kakilala ituturo. Madalas po ngayon online sa mga Facebook groups, on Telegram, on WeChat. These are the channels na ginagamit po ng mga illegal recruiters. If it's too good to be true, walang opisina, sa chat lang. Usually po yan, may mga payments involved, sent through money transfer at hindi dumaan sa Department of Migrant Workers. Then magduda na po tayo, magdalawang isip na po tayo dito po sa mga offer na ito.
Madami po nagtatanong sa atin, saan po ba natin makikita yung mga listahan ng mga lihitong mga recruitment agency? At ano pa ang hakbang ng Bureau of Immigration sa mga recruitment agency na patuloy na nanloloko sa ating mga kababayan?
Yes, I believe po ang website mismo ng Department of Migrant Workers has the list of the legitimate recruitment agencies, the legitimate job openings abroad, and it's very easy na po, pinadali na po nila yung proseso ng pag-a-apply sa pagtatrabaho. Kaya yun po ang gawin natin if we wish to work abroad. With us po ang ating hakbang para po dito sa mga recruitment agencies na manloloko is we submit the reports to IACAT and also the Department of Migrant Workers. Kung sila po ay mga accredited na mga agency, usually po yan sinususpindi or kinakansela po ang kanilang mga accreditation, and they are banned po from deploying Filipinos, OFWs abroad. Sila naman legal rate, ang NBI po ang nag-iimbestiga dyan para naman po makasuhan din ito pong mga tauhan na ito.
Miss Dana, meron po ba kayong numero or baka may Facebook page na maaaring puntahan ng ating mga kababayan para makapag-report kung nagdududa na sila sa, for example, sa isang recruiter nila o sila ay naloko?
Yes, ang pinakamadali po at pinaka-accessible sa lahat sa amin pong mga mga pages po ay ang aming Facebook. So we have our Facebook page. Our official Facebook page po is facebook.com/Official Bureau of Immigration. Meron din po tayong helpline direct sa office ni Commissioner, facebook.com/immigration.helpline.ph. So kung meron po kayong mga report about incidents of human trafficking, mga possible human trafficking victims, o kaya naman po, kung meron din on the side po, baka naman meron din kayong alam ng mga illegal aliens dito sa bansa, you can report po through these channels and makakaasa po kayo na once received po itong mga reports na ito, they will remain confidential and we will investigate po para matapos po itong mga kaso.
Meron po ditong pahabol na tanong mula kay Tuesday New ng DZBB. Nasaan na po ngayon yung babaeng na rescue ninyo from Malaysia? At sino po ang nangangalaga sa kanya ngayon? At ano ang mga intervention na ibinibigay sa kanya ng pamahalaan?
Yes, may assistance po yan ng OWA kapag po merong repatriate. Meron pong psychosocial assistance, meron din pong monetary assistance na binigay po ng appropriate government agencies that are members of the IACAT.
Ma'am, panghuli na lamang ho, no? May mensahe ho ba kayo at paalala sa mga kababayan natin para makaiwas na mabiktima ng mga human trafficker?
Yes, Attorney Danny, siguro walang maloloko kung walang magpapaloko. I think that's really an important reminder to everyone na hindi po tayo maloloko if we are guarded, prepared po tayo at alam po natin. We have to be alert. Kailangan po nating maging alisto. Sabi nga po dun sa isang commercial ng gamot ay huwag pong mahihiyang magtanong. Kung meron pong katakataka, meron pong kaduda-duda doon sa mga offers po sa atin, magtanong po tayo sa mga appropriate government agencies. Maging mas maurirat po tayo doon sa mga offers na inaalok sa atin. At huwag pong basta oo doon po sa magagandang offers kasi mabubulaklak po ang mga salita nitong mga illegal recruiters na to. And siguro a reminder lang to always go the legal way. Huwag po tayong papalo sa illegal means, but always go to the legal way po dahil this is for your safety and also your protection.
Okay, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras, Ms. Dana Sandoval, ang tagapagsalita ng Bureau of Immigration.
30 fiberglass boats ang ipinamahagi sa mga mangingisda sa Navotas City. Ito ay sa pagtutulungan ng Department of Labor and Employment, BFAR, Navotas City Government at Manila Teachers Party List bilang fishing capital of the Philippines. Inaasahang lubos itong makakatulong sa mga benepisyaryo sa lungsod. Inaasahang makakapagpalakas din ito ng kalakalan ng isda sa lugar at para makatulong din sa food security ng bansa. Bukod sa pamamahagi ng bangka, nagkaroon din ng payout para sa mga benepisyaryo ng tulong panghanap buhay sa ating disadvantaged at displaced workers o TUPAD program ng DOLE. Balita sa rehiyon. Sinisiguro ng Regional Office Cordillera na tututukan nila ang pagdagsa ng mga turista sa selebrasyon ng iba't ibang aktibidad ng Pasko sa rehiyon. Ang detalye sa report ni Eddie Carta ng PTV Cordillera.
Kagawad, Vasquez Celerina.
Pagkatapos ng mapayapang barangay at sangguniang kabataang elections at maayos na pagbantay sa undas, pinanindigan ng namumuno ng Police Regional Office Cordillera ang kanilang masusing pagbabantay sa nalalapit na holiday season. Pangunahing bibigyang pansin ng kapulisan ang mga tourist spot, terminal at mga establishmentong dudumugin ng mga papasyalan ng mga turista. Dahil dito, iniayag na opisyal na hindi nila dapat isawalang bahala ang seguridad ng publiko sa nasabing okasyon dahil ito naman ang posibleng pagdagsa ng mga kawatan.
Tapos na yung election, tapos na yung celebration ng undas, kaya back to regular duties na kami. Pinagtutunan na namin ito, pinaghanda na namin itong Kapaskuhan. Dahil gusto rin naman namin peaceful, maayos at makapagsaya yung ating mga kababayan.
Ayon pa kay Regional Director Peredo, nagbigay na ng panuntunan sa lahat ng police personnel sa kanilang pangunahing tungkulin sa Kapaskuhan. Marami rin anya silang pinag-aanda mga programa para sa selebrasyon ng Pasko, gaya ng gift-giving Share a Joy at magiging Santa Police ng ilang kapulisan mula rito sa tinaguriang home of the most disciplined cops ng bansa.
Meron usually ginagawa dito, yung mga pulis natin habang nagpapatrolya ay nagiging Santa Claus sila. Yan ang isang reference namin na siguro mag-isip pa kami na idagdag namin sa mga magiging activities namin.
Mula rito sa PTV Cordillera, Eddie Carta para sa Bayan.
Mga kababayan, 45 days na lang, Pasko na. At bago po kami magpaalam, meron lang kami announcement ni Attorney Galang. Ikaw muna, Attorney.
Yes, first, iniimbitahan ko po lahat ng mga nanonood ho, makinig po kayo at manood na rin ng Usaping Legal tuwing Sabado ho yan sa Radyo Pilipinas 738 AM. At syempre ho, may telecast din ho yan, Channel 3 ho, dito sa PTV. At yun ho, nagbibigay kami ng free legal advice. At syempre, tumatalakay din ng mga issues din, na mapapanahong issues sa ating mga lipunan ngayon.
Ano yung mga kadalasang legal advice ang nakukuha mo, Attorney, mula sa ating mga kababayan?
Karamihan dyan, syempre pag may mga utang, ayan, ang daming hindi makabayad ng utang, syempre mahirap ng buhay ngayon. Pangalawa, siguro annulment, divorce.
Nako,
Ayan,
masalimuot yan.
Dito sa Pilipinas, wala pa tayong divorce, so annulment muna. And ayun, madaming mga questions din, so pwede
Yes.
silang magtanong via text and sa Facebook din, sa ating mga social media accounts din.
How about tax? Tax law, kasi CPA lawyer ang partner ko,
Tax,
di ba?
meron din tayong nakuha kasi yung mga online sellers naman, di ba, tinatax
Ay, oo nga.
sila ngayon. So talagang madami nagtatanong sa atin about online selling. Paano ba tinatax yung mga online sellers? So ayun, yun.
At saka, di ba may cap yun? Alam ko pag online seller ka, hindi ka kasama dun sa itatax sila kapag less than 250,000?
Yes, tama.
Yes.
Yan, oo.
So kung hindi naman po kayo baka maliliit na nagbebenta online, baka kinakabahan kayo, hindi ko kaya magbayad ng tax. Kung ano naman po, 250,000 a year. No?
A year. Oo,
no?
tama
A year.
yan, oo.
Ang inyong kinikita. Kung maliit lang naman, hindi naman po kayo itatax. Okay, sa mga naghahanap ng pupuntahan ngayong weekend, alam niyo po, meron po kami ngayong local na mga fini-feature ngayon ng mga produkto mula po sa Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao. Nandyan po kami ngayon sa Katutubo Pop-Up sa BGC Bench Tower, 30th Street. Katulad nung suot ko, Attorney, ito ay hinabi ng ating mga kababayan.
Ayan.
Mula po sa Ilocos Region. Ang tawag po sa ganitong tela ay binakol in Ilocano. So, mahirap pong gawin ito.
Oo, hindi lang yata nila makita yung details,
Hindi
pero
na makita
sobrang...
yung details, pero isa po ito sa mga pinakamahirap na gawin at ginagawa pa rin ngayon at sana po ma-promote at preserve po natin. Ayan, talaga naman, ang ganitong
Ayan,
tradisyon. Alam mo, kaya ganyan ang itsura niyan para raw makalito ng mga evil spirits. Isa yan sa mga...
May background pala, no?
reason kung bakit daw ganyan. Pero kung titingnan mo, hindi naman talaga siya nakakalito. Math siya eh. Kita mo, parehong-pareho. Balanse siya. But actually, para siyang sumasayaw sa iyong paningin. So, wow, talagang close-up. Tailored, buti na lang, tailored jacket ang aking suot. Pero sana po makapunta po kayo, no? Hanggang ano po yan, 8 p.m. today, Friday, Sabado at sa Linggo sa Bench Tower, 30th Street sa BGC. Kung kayo naman ay mapapagawi dyan sa Central Square sa BGC, nandyan rin po ang Hobby Council Fair. So, mga hinabi rin po na ating mga fini-feature dyan mula po sa buong Pilipinas. So, happy shopping. Agahan nyo na.
Supportahan natin.
Supportahan ang local market po. At dito, nagtatapos ang ating programa sa araw na ito. Attorney?
Samahan niyo po ulit kami sa Lunes para sa mahalagang talakayan at mabilis na aksyon ng pamahalaan. Ako po si Attorney Danny Galang.
Ako si Nina Corpus. Sama-sama tayo para sa isang bagong Pilipinas ngayon.
Limampung taon ng tapat na pagseserbisyo. kailanman, kahit saan, para sa bayan. Reaching the Filipino from every corner of the country via terrestrial TV. In Luzon, PTV 8 Cordillera, PTV 4 Manila, PTV 4 Palawan, and PTV 4 Naga. In the Visayas, PTV 11 Cebu, PTV 2 Guimaras, PTV 10 Dumaguete, PTV 12 Calbayog, and PTV 8 Tacloban. And in Mindanao, PTV 11 Pagadian, PTV 11 Sibugay, PTV 11 Davao, PTV 8 Agusan del Sur, PTV 8 Cotabato, PTV 7 Zamboanga, and PTV 48 Davao del Norte. And through the power of 6 digital transmitting stations, PTV 14 Manila, PTV 42 Cordillera, PTV 46 Naga, PTV 42 Cebu, PTV 23 Guimaras, and PTV 45 Davao. Connecting with the rest of the world in the era of digital technology. Through the power of television and our extensive online network, we continue crossing borders to serve the timeless news and information, bridging public service through innovative programs, fostering pride in the Filipino, and inspiring the people to be active partners in nation building. Noon hanggang ngayon, kasama mong naglilingkod. PTV. Ngayong linggo sa Mundo ng Sports.
A former PBA player, one of the big men of the 80s.
Gusto ko rin yung nakikita pa rin ako ng mga yung nakakakilala sa akin, yung mga nagugustuhan yung paglalaro namin.
Bilang isang award-winning race car driver sa loob at labas ng bansa, mahalaga sa decorated athlete na si Myla Rivera ang mapalaganap ang kanyang advokasya sa road safety.
And it's all physiology, actually. Yung tayo ng katawan natin, yung stance, contributes to how our blood flow works. It also eventually translates to how our mind is when we're driving.
PTV Sports, ngayong Sabado, alas 4:30 ng hapon, dito lang sa PTV. Ngayong linggo, sa Masters of the Game.
Musmus pa lamang si Akiko nang unang lumusong sa swimming pool kasama ng mga kapatid. Parang natural lamang na maging bahagi ang paglangoy sa kanyang buhay.
I was very active. I loved racing and the water was a comfortable element.
Nang siya ay magretiro, hindi niya maiwasang tumulong sa sport sa kahit anong paraan.
Masters of the Game, ngayong linggo, alas 8 ng gabi, dito lang sa PTV. PTV Crime Watch, mga paalala laban sa human trafficking. Ang Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act ay batas na ipinasa upang wakasan ang human trafficking sa bansa. Layunin itong protektahan ang mga biktima, lalo na ang mga kababaihan at kabataan. Sa ilalim ng batas, bawal ang pagre-recruit, pagkulong at pagbabiyahe ng mga tao patungo o palabas ng bansa gamit ang pagbabanta, panlilinlang, pamimilit at pag-aabuso ng kapangyarihan para sila ay ipasok sa prostitusyon, sa pilitang pagtatrabaho, pang-aalipin, pagbebenta ng human organs at iba pang uri ng pananamantala. Kumilos laban sa ating supuin ang problema ng human trafficking. Disaster Watch, kahandaan ngayong panahon ng El Nino. Ang El Nino ay isang kondisyon ng panahon kung saan ang tubig dagat sa gitna ng silangang Pasipiko ay umiinit at naghahatid ng matinding pagbabago sa klima. Ito ay nagdadala ng matinding tagtuyot at malalakas na bagyo at pag-ulan. Ayon sa mga eksperto, nahaharap tayo sa isang tumitinding El Nino sa mga darating na buwan. Kaya kahandaan ang kailangan. Mag-monitor ng panahon at tumutok sa mga weather update. Panatilihing malusog ang katawan. Magtipid ng paggamit ng tubig at kuryente. Kung gagamit ng aircon, iset ang thermostat sa pagitan ng 22 hanggang 25 degrees centigrade. I-report ang mga tagas ng tubig at ang mga iligal na koneksyon sa inyong lugar. Matuto ng wastong pag-iimbak ng tubig ulan. At para naman sa mga kababayan nating magsasaka, mag-invest sa hybrid rice at high-value crops at makipag-ugnayan sa ating mga local agricultural expert upang tayo ay magabayan. Sa panahon ng kalamidad, dapat laging listo. Disaster Watch. Paghahanda sa The Big One. Mahalagang impormasyon ukol sa Valley Fault System. Ang Valley Fault System ay isang active fault na tumatagos sa Kalakhang, Maynila at sa mga kalapit nitong lalawigan. Ang West Valley Fault ay may habang 100 kilometro at kayang lumikha ng 7.2 magnitude na lindol. Apektado nito ang mga lalawigan ng Cavite, Laguna at Rizal, pati ang ilang lungsod sa Maynila at ilang bayan sa Bulacan. Ang East Valley Fault ay may habang 10 kilometro at tumatagos sa mga bayan ng Rodriguez at San Mateo sa Rizal. Kaya nitong lumikha ng magnitude 6.2 na lindol. Iba yung paghahanda ang kinakailangan sa panahong nagbabadya ang sakuna. Makilahok sa mga earthquake drill sa inyong komunidad. Maglista ng mga emergency number na matatawagan. Magtakda ng isang lugar na magiging tagpuan kung sakaling magkakahiwalay ang pamilya. Suriin ang bahay at gusali kung paano mapapatibay. Maghanda ng emergency kit kung kailangan lumikas. Tandaan, kahandaan ang susi sa kaligtasan. Huwag malito, dapat laging listo.
ကျွန်တော်ဟာ1986ကစပြီးတော့မှဒီတဘာဝဝင်းကျင်နဲ့တန်ခါးတန်ထင်းဌာနမှာစတင်တာဝန်ထမ်းဆောင်ခဲ့ပြီးအင်ဒိုကြီးတော်ရင်တိဆန်ပေးမဲ့တော့2016ခုနှစ်မှာကြောင်းရွှေရောက်ရှိလာပြီးတော့မှအုပ်ချုပ်ရေးမှုတာဝန်များကိုထမ်းဆောင်နေပြီပါတယ်။အင်ဒိုကြီးတော်ရင်တိဆန်ပေးမဲ့တော့ဟာအင်ဒိုကြီးကဲနဲ့ဆက်ဆက်ရေဝီဧရိယာ100စတူယမ်မိုင်နဲ့ကံပတ်ဝင်းကျင်မှာရှိတဲ့ရေဝီကြီးလဲကျိုးဝိုင်းတော့ဧရိယာ214.6ခွန်စတူယမ်မိုင်စုစုပေါင်း314.6ခွန်စတူယမ်မိုင်ကိုအင်ဒိုကြီးတော်ရင်တိဆန်ပေးမဲ့တော့အဖြစ်1999ခုနှစ်ကနေပြီးတော့မှဒီရွယ်ကြောင်းကြီးညာခဲ့ပါတယ်။အင်ဒိုကြီးကံပတ်ဝင်းကျင်မှာရှိတဲ့မျိုးကွဲစုံလိုက်တဲ့ဇီဝမျိုးစုံမျိုးကွဲတွေကြောင့်အင်ဒိုကြီးကံကို2003ခုနှစ်မှာအာဆီယံအမွေအနှစ်ဥယျာဉ်ဖြစ်သတ်မှတ်ခဲ့ပါတယ်။အင်ဒိုကြီးကံဟာဘေးမဲ့တော်တီထောင်ခြင်းတွေကကျွန်တော်တို့ဘေးမဲ့တော်နဲ့ဒီဒေသခံပြည်သူတွေကြားမှာဈာခံနေနေဆိုတာမရှိတဲ့အတွက်ဒေသခံပြည်သူတွေကအင်ဒိုကြီးတော်ရန်တိဆန်ဘေးမဲ့တော်ကထွက်ရှိတဲ့သဘာဝတယံဇာတအရင်းမြစ်များကိုမိခိုးလုံးအားကြီးတဲ့အတွက်2019ခုနှစ်မှာ UNESCO အတိအမှတ်ပြုလူသားနဲ့ဇီဝအဝန်းနယ်မြေအစီအစဉ်အောက်မှာရှိတဲ့ဇီဝအဝန်းနယ်မြေဖြစ်သတ်မှတ်ခြင်းခံရပါတယ်။အင်ဒိုကြီးတော်ရန်တိဆန်ဘေးမဲ့တော်မှာလက်ရှိဝန်ထမ်းအင်အား15ဦးနဲ့ထိန်းသိမ်းကာကွယ်ရေးလုပ်ငန်းများနောက်ပညာပေးလုပ်ငန်းများသုတေသနလုပ်ငန်းများနဲ့စောင့်ကြည့်လေ့လာရေးလုပ်ငန်းများကိုဆောင်ရွက်လျက်ရှိပါတယ်။အဲ့လိုဆောင်ရွက်လုပ်တဲ့ချိန်မှာကျွန်တော်အင်ဒိုကြီးတော်ရန်တိဆန်ဘေးမဲ့တော်အဖွဲ့သားမကဘဲနဲ့အစိုးရမဟုတ်တဲ့အဖွဲ့အစည်းတစ်ခုဖြစ်တဲ့ FFI အဖွဲ့ရဲ့နောက်တစ်ခါကျွန်တော်တို့ဒေသမှာရှိတဲ့ဒေသခံပူပေါင်းပါဝင်ဆောင်ရွက်တဲ့အဖွဲ့အစည်းတွေရဲ့ပူပေါင်းပြီးတော့မှကျွန်တော်တို့သင်ပေးလုပ်ငန်းတွေကိုဆောင်ရွက်လက်ရှိပါတယ်
ကျွန်တော်တို့အင်ဒိုကြီးတော်ရေးဒေသနဲ့ဘေးမြေတော်မှာတာဝန်ထမ်းဆောင်နေတဲ့တောအုပ်ဦးစိုးမြင့်ဖြစ်ပါတယ် ဟုတ်ကဲ့ကျွန်တော်ငှက်နဲ့ပတ်သက်လို့ကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီဆောင်းရသည်ဆိုရင်ဆောင်းကုန်ငှက်တွေအများပြားလာရောက်ကျက်စားနေထိုင်ပါတယ်အဲ့ဒီမှာမှအခုကျွန်တော်တို့နိုမာလအထိနောက်ဆုံးစီးရင်ကောက်ရယူထားတဲ့ငှက်မျိုးစိတ်ကတော့133မျိုးရှိပါတယ်ငှက်ကောင်ကြီးကတော့2000ကျော်အထိတွေ့ရှိပါတယ်အဲ့ဒီမှာရေငှက်တွေမျိုးစိတ်ပါအဲ့တော့ဒီရေငှက်မျိုးစိတ်တွေကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ဘေးကနေပြီးတော့မှလာရောက်ပြီးတော့နှောက်ယှက်ခြင်းမရှိအောင်ငှက်တွေကလွတ်လပ်စွာကျက်စားနိုင်အောင်ဆိုပြီးတော့မှကျွန်တော်တို့ကပုံမှန်ကင်းလှည့်ခြင်းရှောင်းတခင်ကင်းလှည့်ခြင်းသတင်းရကင်းလှည့်ခြင်းဆိုပြီးတော့ကင်းလှည့်ခြင်း3မျိုးနဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဆောင်ရွက်ခဲ့ပါတယ်ဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီမှာဘာပုတ်ချက်တို့ပါလို့ဆိုရင်ဒါတော်တော်လေးအနေနဲ့ဟိုထဲမှာကြာရောက်နေပါပြီအမတန်မှလဲပါတယ်ဘဲကောင်းဒီတို့ဆိုတဲ့ဟာမှာဆိုရင်တော်တော်လေးရှားပါတဲ့ဟိုထဲကိုကြောက်တော့ပါပြီအဲ့တော့အခုကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီမှာတော့တကယ်ပေါ်နေတာတော့အခုဆရာတို့မြင်တဲ့အတိုင်းပဲကျွန်တော်တို့ပါပဲဆွမ်းဆိုတဲ့ရေချက်တို့ပေါ့ပြီးတော့ black cook ဒီဘဲတွေကတော့အမတန်ပေါ်ပါသေးတယ်ပြီးတော့ tablet ဆိုတဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဘဲနေကြားဟိုလေးတွေလည်းရှိပေါ်ပါသေးတယ်
အရှိတ်ကန်းအနောက်ကန်းရွာတွေပေါ့အဲ့ဒီရွာတွေမှာကျွန်တော်တို့နှမွန်မြို့ရယ်အဓိကထားပြီးမှကျွန်တော်တို့အမိုက်သိမ်းစီးလုပ်ငန်းကိုကျွန်တော်တို့လုပ်ပါတယ်ဗျဒီချောင်းနေမြောင်းနေရတယ်ဒီမှာအမိုက်စွန့်ပစ်တာများလို့ရှိရင်ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီအင်တော်ကြီးရဲ့ဇီဝဝန်းဝိုင်းနယ်မြေကပျက်စီးသွားနိုင်တဲ့အနေအထားမျိုးရှိပါတယ်လူလူတွေကဒီမှာစီကန်းတကြနဲ့သူကအမိုက်ပစ်တတ်တဲ့စနစ်မျိုးအမိုက်ကိုဖျက်ဆီးတဲ့စနစ်မျိုးလုပ်မယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီပတ်ဝန်းကျင်ဝန်းဝိုင်းကိုထိန်းသိမ်းပြီးသားဖြစ်သွားမှာပါဒါကြောင့်မို့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကဒီလူထုကိုပညာပေးတဲ့လုပ်ငန်းကိုဦးစားပေးပြီးမှလှုပ်ဆောင်ခြင်းဖြစ်ပါတယ်
တွားချင်မှာဆိုရင်တားကောင်းနဲ့ခြေရတွေ့မယ်နော်တွားလမ်းချောင်းမှာခြေရတွေ့လို့ချင်တယ် OBM မှတ်မယ်နော်ဟုတ်ကဲ့ကျွန်တော်အခုလုပ်နေတဲ့လုပ်ငန်းလေးကတော့ဒီတောထဲမှာကင်းလဲသွားလို့ရှိရင်တရားမဝင်လုပ်ငန်းတွေဘာတွေလုပ်ကိုင်လဲရှိတယ်လေကျွန်တော်အနေထားတွေသူတို့ရဲ့ဟိုပေါ့တရားမဝင်လုပ်ငန်းလုပ်ကိုင်တဲ့လမ်းကြောင်းတွေရှိသလားနောက်ကြတော့ဒီတောကောင်တွေတွေ့ရှိမှုမှာမတ်တပ်တင်တဲ့ကျွန်တော်ဒီတောကောင်တွေရဲ့မစင်တွေ့ဒါမှမဟုတ်ရင်အော်ဒါမဲ့အကြားတွေနောက်တစ်ခုကကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီခြေရာပေါ့လေမှတ်တမ်းတင်ခြင်းလုပ်ငန်းတွေကိုဆောင်ရွက်ပါတယ်နောက်တစ်ခုကကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီညောင်လဲကျော်အော်တဲ့အတန်တွေကိုလည်းမှတ်တမ်းတင်တယ်လို့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီငှက်နဲ့ပတ်သက်နေတာဒီထူကြတဲ့အကောင့်ကြီးမျိုးသိပ်ပေါ့ကျွန်တော်ဒီစွန်အုပ်စုကိုလက်ထားအုပ်စုကိုနောက်တစ်ခုကကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီအောက်ချင်းငှက်မျိုးသိပ်အုပ်စုကိုအားမျိုးတွေ့ရှိလို့ကျွန်တော်မှတ်တမ်းတင်ပါတယ်
အင်းတော်ကြီးတော်ရေးလက်ပြီးမဲ့တော့ကိုကျွန်တော်တို့နိုင်ငံတော်ရဲ့အစိုးရထိန်းသိမ်းရေးလုပ်ငန်းကိုဆောင်ရွက်သလိုပဲတခါကျွန်တော်တို့အစိုးရမဟုတ်တဲ့တခြားသောအဖွဲ့အစည်းဖြစ်တဲ့ ASEAN Center for Biodiversity ကနေပြီးတော့မှလည်းကျွန်တော်တို့ထိန်းသိမ်းရေးလုပ်ငန်းတွေပညာပေးလုပ်ငန်းတွေနဲ့သုတေသနလုပ်ငန်းတွေတက်ကိုရန်ပုံငွေပံ့ပိုးခြင်းနောက်ကနည်းပညာပံ့ပိုးခြင်းတွေကိုဆောင်ရွက်လျက်ရှိပါတယ်ခင်ဗျ။အင်းတော်ကြီးတော်ရင်တင်ဆက်ပေးမဲ့တော့ဟာအာဆီယံအမွေနဲ့ဥယျာဉ်သတ်မှတ်ထားတဲ့အတွက်အာဆီယံအဆင့်အရေးကြီးတယ်လို့ပဲကျွန်တော်တို့လက်ရှိချိန်မှာတော့အင်းတော်ကြီးတော်ရင်တင်ဆက်ပေးမဲ့တော့ကမ္ဘာအမွေနဲ့ဖြစ်တင်ပြဖို့အတွက်ဆောင်ရွက်လျက်ရှိပါတယ်။
Mapapanood ang PTV
sa bawat sulok ng Pilipinas,
reaching millions of Filipinos across the country through the power of terrestrial TV.
Abot na abot namin ang mga Pilipino para sa tapat na balita at impormasyon.
Dito'y Cordillera, kan Intero ang Luzon. Da kami, di mapangnamnamaan.
Sa aton sa Visayas, wala kami mapugong sa pagpaabot sa unsang hitabo.
Dini sa saad ng yuta, Mindanao, PTV, pirmi maminaw para sa paghatod sa balita.
Broadcasting in Luzon, PTV4 Manila, PTV8 Cordillera, PTV4 Naga, and PTV4 Palawan. In the Visayas, PTV11 Cebu, PTV10 Dumaguete, PTV2 Guimaras, PTV8 Tacloban, and PTV12 Calbayog. And in the heart of Mindanao, PTV11 Davao City, PTV8 Cotabato, PTV7 Zamboanga, PTV 11 Sibugay, PTV 11 Pagadian, PTV 48 Davao del Norte, and PTV 8 Agusan del Sur. PTV Regional Network, buong katapatang naghahatid ng balitang maaasahan para sa inyong pambansang TV. Isang oras na hitik na weekend balitaan ang sa inyo tuwing Sabado at Linggo. Ulat Bayan Weekend. Kasama si Dominic Almelor. Alas 6 ng gabi. Dito lang sa PTV.
Susunod na programa ay rated PG. Ito ay nangangailangan ng patnubay at gabay ng magulang para sa mga batang manonood.
Walang makapagsasabi kung ano ang mga numerong mananalo sa lahat ng PCSO games. Huwag maniwala sa mga text messages, liham o tawag sa telepono na nagsasabing magbibigay daw sila ng tip kapalit ng pera o cellphone load. Bumili ng ticket sa mga PCSO authorized outlets at PCSO branches bago ang actual draw.
Bagong Pilipinas, isang magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Oras na para maglaro at manalo sa PCSO Lottery Draw. Sama-sama tayong mag-chillax, makisaya at makilaro sa Lotto Barkada ngayong Biyernes ng gabi, November 10, 2023. Sa mga may tickets, i-manifest na po ang panalo. At samahan kami ni Cherie. Good evening, Cherie.
Yes, magandang gabi din sa iyo, Rami. At sa mas dumarami nating mga kalaro nationwide, sabay-sabay tayong mag-distress tonight. Guaranteed po ang relaxation dahil no sweat na ang sumali. At sa halagang 20 pesos lang, abot kami na po ang chance na maging milyonaryo. Kaya tara na, make sure may tickets everyday at tutok lang po sa PTV Network at sa ating mga social media accounts.
Bago natin simulan ang karambola ng mga numero, paalala po sa mga lotto players, kaugnay po sa transition sa bagong lottery system ng PCSO. Ang mga tickets po na pinili hanggang September 30, 2023 ay maaaring ma-validate lamang sa mga PCSO branch offices at sa PCSO main office, habang ang mga tickets na nabili simula October 1, 2023 ay ma-validate sa kahit saang lotto outlet nationwide, PCSO branch offices at sa PCSO main office.
Okay, Gina tayo Lotto players! I-welcome na natin ang ating Lotto Draw panel of judges from the gaming public. At present din po ang mga representatives from PCSO and the Commission on Audit.
And to assist us with our draws, we have our PCSO Draw Coordinator. Good evening, sir.
Pilipinas, ready na ba kayong maging instant milyonaryo?
Ready na ang mga papremyo, kaya tara na! Let's play Lotto!
Sa isinagawang pre-draw procedures, natunghayan ng Lotto Draw Panel of Judges and draw representatives from the PCSO and the Commission on Audit ang mga paghahanda bago ang live Lotto draws. Sa pamamagitan ng machine inspection at machine testing, siniguro po na maayos ang kondisyon ng mga draw machines. Only the operation of the remote switch button ang may human intervention. Sa drawball case selection, 3 sets ang pinagpilian sa bawat game. Randomly, pumili ang chairperson ng isang set ng bola na gagamitin. Lahat po ng bola ay tinimbang para masiguro na halos pantay-pantay ang bigat ng bawat bola. Properly documented at covered po ng video ang bawat activity. Matapos pa siguro na ito'y kumpleto, ang draw team member ang maglo-load ng draw balls na gagamitin sa mga draws.
Pilipinas, unahin natin ang 8 milyong panalo. Wala pa rin pong jackpot winner last Tuesday. So tonight's jackpot prize, 112,152,500 pesos and 60 centavos. Net of the agent's prize commission. Mr. Draw Coordinator, press that button and let's play Ultra Lotto 658. Ultra Lotto players, Ultra Lotto draw na. Kompleto ang 58 draw balls 1 to 58 na nasa loob ng draw machine. Machine lang po ang pipili ng 6 na bola. Good luck po sa lahat ng may tickets. The first number, 45. Sa mga jackpot bearing games, gaya po ng Ultra Lotto, paghahatian equally ang jackpot prize kung 2 higit pa ang jackpot winners. The second number, 55. Kapag nakuha mo ang 3 sa 6 na nanalong numero, panalo po kayo ng 100 piso. The third number, number 40, 40. Getting 4 out of the 6 winning numbers instantly wins you 2,000 pesos. And the fourth number, number 4. Kung magmatch ang 5 numbers sa winning combination, 120,000 pesos po ang inyong papremyo. The fifth number, number 8. Isang numero na lang po ang hinihintay natin at makukumpleto na ang Ultra Million Combination. And the sixth number, number 44. Tonight's official Ultra Lotto winning numbers in any order. 45, 55, 40, 4, 8, and 44 for the jackpot prize of 112,152,500 pesos and 60 centavos, net of the agent's prize commission. Mega Philippines, it's time to win Mega Millions. Let's play Mega Lotto 645. No jackpot winner din po noong Miyerkules. Kaya ang Mega Lotto jackpot prize ngayong gabi, 8,910,000 pesos net of the agent's prize commission. Once again, Mr. Draw Coordinator, press that button and let's play Mega Lotto 645. Maraming salamat po sa ating Draw Coordinator. If you're just joining us tonight, good evening po sa inyo. Nasa Mega Lotto draw na po tayo. And this time, 45 draw balls, 1 to 45. Ang laman ng ating draw machine. 6 lucky balls pa rin ang hihintay nating pipiliin. And the first number, number 6. Ingatan po ang mga lotto tickets. Bawal pong mabasa o mainitan. Kailangan po mabasa ng validating machine ang detalye ng winning ticket sa pag-claim ng inyong premyo. The second number, number 41. Sa Mega Lotto 645, 30 pesos ang panalo. Sakaling mag-match ang 3 numero mo sa mga winning numbers. Para po manalo, your numbers can come in any order. The third number, number 13, 13. 1,000 pesos naman ang mapapanalunan kung makuha ang 4 out of the 6 Mega Lotto winning numbers. Rumble po ang mga numero para manalo. And the fourth number, 37. At kung 5 nanalong numero po ang nasa ticket ninyo, 32,000 pesos po kaagad ang inyong panalo. Ang Mega Lotto 645 tuwing Lunes, Miyerkules at Biyernes. The fifth number, 34. Mega Philippines, one more lucky number to complete tonight's Mega Million combination. Good luck po sa lahat ng may tickets. At maraming salamat po sa pagbili ng tickets. And the sixth and final number, number 8. Muli po ang ating Mega Lotto winning numbers in any order. 6, 41, 13, 37, 34, and 8 for the jackpot prize of 8,910,000 pesos net of the agent's prize commission. Pilipinas Digit Games naman ang may hatid ng panalo sa pagbabalik ng PCSO Lottery Draw.
Maraming nagtatanong tungkol sa loto. Maliban sa 20 pesos, swerte ang puhunan para maging instant milyonaryo. Oportunidad at pagkakataon ay di mabilang para makamit ang swerte. Tunay na pinagkakatiwalaan sa anumang sulok ng mundo. Ano pang hinihintay ninyo? Sugod na sa mga Lotto outlets at bumili ng mga tickets ninyo. Para sa bayan, PCSO laging andyan. Araw-araw, let's play Lotto!
Digit game, bibida ang 4 numbers nyo at hindi bababa sa 10,000 pesos for 10 peso play at pwedeng umabot sa 100,000 pesos per 10 peso play ang panalo pag nakuha in exact order ang 4D Lotto winning combination. May system plays din dito gaya ng roll 1, roll 4 at firm o rumble. Magtanong lang po sa mga friendly Lotto tellers kung paano ito laruin. At narito na ang ating 4D Lotto winning combination. The first number is the number 1. The second number, we have number 5. For the third number, we have number 2. And the fourth and final number is the number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, our 4D Lotto winning combination for tonight is 1, 5, 2, and 4 in exact order. Tres numeros mo, i-ready na! Let's play the 9 p.m. edition of the 3D Lotto. Sa 3D Lotto game, pwedeng manalo ng 4,500 pesos per 10 peso play kapag nag-match ang 3 numbers nyo sa mapipiling 3D Lotto winning combination in exact order. 750 pesos or 1,500 pesos naman ang pwedeng mapanalunan kung nag-Rambolito system play. Price daily po ang papremyo nito, that's every 2 p.m., 5 p.m., and 9 p.m. At narito na po ang ating 3D Lotto winning numbers. The first number is number 6. The second number, we have number 8. And finally, the third number is the number 3. Again, tonight's 3D Lotto winning combination is 6, 8, and 3 in exact order. At syempre, hindi magpapahuli ang papremyong magmumula sa lucky 2 numbers. Let's play the 2D Lotto. Lotto players, 4,000 pesos per 10 peso play ang panalo kapag nag-match ang 2 numbers nyo sa ating winning combination in exact order. Kung nanalo naman via the Rambolito system play, 2,000 pesos ang maiuwi ninyo. Reminders po sa ating mga Lotto winners, may 1 year po kayo to claim your prizes. At narito na ang resulta ng ating 2D Lotto draw For the first number, we have number 12. And the second number is the number 16. Recapping the 2D Lotto winning numbers for our 9 p.m. draw, we have 12 and 16 in exact order. Congratulations, Lotto winners! Para naman po sa mga nagtatanong ng schedule ng ating mga Lotto games, narito po.
Hi guys! Sa mga first-time players at aspiring Lotto millionaires, para sa inyo ang infomercial na ito. Araw-araw ang tsansang manalo dahil araw-araw din ang swerteng hatid ng mga games ng PCSO. From Monday to Sunday, 2D Lotto at 3D Lotto 3 times a day nakakasalo. That's every 2 p.m., 5 p.m., and 9 p.m. draws. Tuwing alas 9 ng gabi, back-to-back ang mga pampagood vibes na dala ng samot-saring digit at jackpot-bearing games. Every Mondays and Wednesdays, mega saya ang dala ng 2D Lotto, 3D Lotto, 4D Lotto, Mega Lotto 645, and the Grand Lotto 655. Nag-uumapaw ang multi-million excitement every Tuesday. Hatid ng 2D Lotto, 3D Lotto, 6D Lotto, Lotto 642, Super Lotto 649, at Ultra Lotto 658. Ready ang Super Jackpot every Thursday. Hatid ng 2D Lotto, 3D Lotto, 6D Lotto, Lotto 642, and Super Lotto 649. Sigurado mag-enjoy kayo every Friday sa weekend treat ng 2D Lotto, 3D Lotto, 4D Lotto, Mega Lotto 645, and Ultra Lotto 658. Talbog ang Sabado night gimmick dahil big time ang panalong dala ng 2D Lotto, 3D Lotto, 6D Lotto, Lotto 642, and the Grand Lotto 655. At pagdating ng Sunday, game na game pa rin ang Lotto Barkada sa papremyong hatid ng 2D Lotto, 3D Lotto, Super Lotto 649, at Ultra Lotto 658. Pagpalampasin ang pagkakataong maging Lotto milyonaryo. Laging siguraduhin may Lotto ticket kayo at araw-araw, let's play Lotto!
Mga kaigsuunan, maayong gabi sa inyong tanan. FYI po, authorized na po ang ilang SLAACs na gamitin ang national draw results para sa kanilang STL operations. Para po sa kumpletong listahan ng mga STL-AACs, panoorin po natin.
Gaya po ng lagi naming sinasabi, isa po sa pinaglalaanan ng pondo ng PCSO ang mga programang pangkalusugan. Kasama po dyan ang Medical Assistance Program. At para sa ulat ukol sa naipamahaging tulong noong nakarang buwan, narito po.
Magandang gabi bagong Pilipinas! Tuloy-tuloy ang balitaan dito sa PCSO News Blitz. Sa buong buwan ng Oktubre 2023, umabot sa mahigit 138 million pesos ang naibigay na tulong ng PCSO para sa 23,192 Filipino patients nationwide na dumulog sa aming tanggapan para sa kanilang hospitalization, laboratories at iba pang medical procedures. Sa National Capital Region, mahigit 30 million pesos ang inilaan para sa 2,310 patients. Nakatanggap naman ng mahigit 33 million pesos ang 5,266 na kababayan natin sa Northern and Central Luzon. Over 28 million pesos naman ang naipamigay sa 6,355 nating mga kababayan sa Southern Tagalog and Bicol Region. A total of 24 million pesos ang tinanggap na tulong ng 4,874 patients mula sa Visayas. At mahigit 21 million pesos ang naipamahaging tulong sa 4,387 na kababayan natin sa Mindanao. Patuloy lang tumangkilik sa mga produkto ng PCSO gaya ng Lotto, Small Town Lottery at Scratch It Tickets at maging bahagi ng PCSO sa pagtulong nito sa mga nangangailangan sa pamamagitan ng mga programang pangkalusugan at pangkawang gawa. Para po sa PCSO News Blitz, ako po si Princess Laurel Elefante.
Disaster Watch. Alamin ang Modified Tropical Cyclone Wind Signal System para sa mga paparating na bagyo. Signal number 1. Isa itong tropical depression na nagtataglay ng bahagyang lakas ng hangin at tatama sa loob ng 1.5 araw. Posible itong makadulot ng pinsala. Walang pasok ang mga bata sa preschool. Signal number 2. Ito ay tinatawag na tropical storm na may dalang katamtamang lakas ng hangin at posibleng tumama sa loob ng 24 oras. Pinapayuhan ng lahat na isecure ang kanilang mga bahay at kagamitan at huwag na munang maglakbay. Wala ring pasok ang mga mag-aaral mula sa preschool hanggang high school. Signal number 3. Ito ay severe tropical storm na posibleng tumama sa loob ng 18 oras. Pinapayuhan ang mga residente na lumikas sa mabababang lugar, baybayin at tabing ilog at maghanda sa pagkawala ng kuryente at komunikasyon. Walang pasok sa lahat ng antas ng edukasyon. Signal number 4. Ito ay isang ganap na typhoon na maaaring tumama sa loob ng 12 oras at nagtataglay ng napakalakas na hangin. Dapat manatili muna sa bahay at lumikas mula sa mga mapanganib na lugar. Signal number 5. Ito ay isang super typhoon na nagtataglay ng napakalakas na hangin at posibleng magdulot ng malawakang pinsala. Manatili sa loob ng matibay na gusali at mag-monitor sa mga weather update para sa inyong kaligtasan. Sa panahon ng bagyo, dapat laging listo.
Muli po naming paalala sa lahat ang Lucky Pick 3 at Swerte Siring Facebook page ay hindi po konektado sa PCSO. Maging ang Pakiloto at Sure Lotto ay hindi rin po produkto ng aming tanggapan para makasigurong legit ang game na sinasalihan. Sa mga authorized Lotto outlets at authorized STL representatives lamang bumili ng inyong mga tickets.
And speaking of legit, i-like and follow na po ang isa pang Facebook page ng PCSO, ang PCSO Games Online Hub. Makikita po dyan ang Lotto Draw results, jackpot estimates, advisories, announcement of winners, and programs and activities ng PCSO.
Para naman po sa mga kababayan nating naghahanap ng free medical and dental outpatient services, pumunta po dito sa PCSO Main Office, Conservatory Building, Shaw Boulevard, Mandaluyong City. Bukas po ang ating clinic mula alas 8 ng umaga hanggang alas 5 ng hapon. Lunes po yan hanggang Biyernes.
First come, first serve po ang ipinatutupad, kaya agahan ninyo ang pagpunta. Bukod sa photocopy ng inyong valid ID, dalhin din po ang inyong mga vaccination cards. Dahil fully vaccinated individuals lamang ang makakatanggap ng nasabing serbisyo.
Marami pa pong programang pangkalusugan ng PCSO. Ang detalye narito po.
Libreng konsulta ba ang hanap ninyo? Meron tayo niyan dito sa PCSO. Inihahandog ng PCSO Multi-Specialty Clinic ang free medical services para sa inyo. Tuwing Lunes, ready to serve you ang aming mga cardiologist and neuropsychiatrist mula alas 9 ng umaga hanggang alas 12 ng tanghali. Available naman ang ating mga ENT doctor and pulmonologist every Tuesday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. At pagsapit ng Miyerkules, pwede kayong kumonsulta sa aming mga gastroenterologist and endocrinologist. Sa mga may problema sa buto, handang maglingkod sa inyo ang aming orthopedic surgeon every Thursday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. At kung may problema sa inyong paningin, worry no more dahil ang ating ever-reliable ophthalmologist na ang bahala sa inyo. Tuwing araw yan ng Biyernes mula 2 p.m. hanggang 5 p.m. All these services are free, kaya bumisita na sa PCSO Multi-Specialty Clinic. Pero reminder lamang po, fully vaccinated individuals lamang ang makakapag-avail ng mga nasabing serbisyo. Kaya dalhin po ang inyong mga vaccination cards, pati na din ang inyong mga valid ID with photo. For your inquiries and appointments, tumawag lamang sa aming Medical Services Department sa telephone number 8846-8757.
Para po sa kaalaman ng lahat, sa ilalim ng PCSO Medical Access Program, lahat ng kahilingan para sa mga gamot na pang-chemotherapy, post-kidney or liver transplantation, hemophilia, at ipuwitin injection ay kailangan ng kalakip na official quotation galing sa retailers, drugstores, pharmacies, ospital o dialysis centers. Para sa kumpletong listahan, bisitahin ang PCSO website. I-click ang e-services tab at i-click ang list of medicine providers accepting PCSO guarantee letter nationwide. Para sa karagdagang kaalaman, magpadala ng mensahe sa email address na pcsomain.charity@pcso.gov.ph para sa NCR. Maaari ring makipag-ugnayan sa Charity Assistance Department sa telepono bilang 8366-3329 o kaya sa pinakamalapit na PCSO branch na matatagpuan sa directory ng PCSO website.
The results of our 2 p.m. draws for the 3D Lotto, the winning numbers are 5, 6, and 1 in exact order. For the 2D Lotto, we have 10 and 21 in exact order. And the results of the 5 p.m. draw for the 3D Lotto, the winning numbers are 3, 8, and 7 in exact order. For the 2D Lotto, we have 21 and 8 in exact order. We'll now do a recap of the 9 p.m. draw results. Starting off with our 2D Lotto winning numbers, we have 12 and 16 in exact order. For the 3D Lotto, we have 6, 8, and 3 in exact order. And for the 4D Lotto, the lucky numbers are 1, 5, 2, and 4 in exact order.
Para naman sa ating Mega Lotto 645, 6, 41, 13, 37, 34, and 8 in any order. For the jackpot prize of 8,910,000 pesos net of the agent's prize commission. At sa ating Ultra Lotto 658, 45, 55, 40, 4, 8, and 44 in any order for the jackpot prize of 112,152,500 pesos and 60 centavos net of the agent's prize commission.
Alamin na po natin kung may jackpot winners tayo ngayong gabi. Ayon po sa PCSO Data Center, sa Mega Lotto 645, we have no winner. At sa Ultra Lotto 658, we have no winner.
Congratulations po sa mga nanalo. To know how to claim your prizes, panoorin po natin.
Napakasaya ng manalo, napakadali pang mag-claim ng premyo sa mga Lotto games ng PCSO. Kung isa ka sa pinalad na maging Lotto winner, isulat ang iyong pangalan at pirmahan ang likod ng inyong winning ticket. Kung 20 pesos hanggang 10,000 pesos ang napanalunan, maaaring i-claim ang inyong premyo sa kahit saang authorized Lotto outlet near you. And for winners of more than 10,000 pesos up to 300,000 pesos, you can claim your prizes at the nearest PCSO branch in your area and present 2 valid IDs. Kung ikaw naman ang super swerteng jackpot winner, dalhin lamang ang inyong winning ticket at 2 valid IDs sa PCSO Main Office, Shaw Boulevard, Mandaluyong City. Tandaan lamang, may 1 taon kayo mula sa petsa ng inyong pagkapanalo para makapag-claim ng inyong premyo. To all the winners, congratulations po!
Lotto players, kahit weekend, tuloy po ang banding sa PCSO kaya don't miss your chance na manalo ng instant cash prizes. Samahan niyo kami muli bukas sa ating 2 p.m., 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. draws. Ang mga games po natin, we have the 2D Lotto, 3D Lotto, 6D Lotto, the Lotto 642 with an estimated jackpot prize of 9 million pesos at sa ating Grand Lotto 685, 117 million pesos. Huwag niyo kalimutan ang tickets para sa linggo. Sa ating Super Lotto 649, ang estimated jackpot prize, 123 million pesos. Kaya mga tickets po, huwag na huwag kakalimutan.
And that's all for tonight. Para po sa PCSO, ako po si Sherifa Mintuan.
Ang inyo pong lingkod, Romy Season, nagsasabing sa PCSO, bagong Pilipinas ang panalo sa kawang-gawa at serbisyo.
Susunod sa On Assignment. Iba't ibang panganib at pagsubok ang hinaharap ng ating mga OFW sa ibang bansa.
Tatanong po sila, ma, kailan ka po uuwi? Sinasabi ko, anak, sa kanalang pagka meron na pinaka-worst po na war dito sa Israel. Yun pong parang, di ba po, napapanood po natin sa social media, yung nagmamassacre na sila.
At kali-kaliwang operasyon para sa pagsupil sa kalakaran ng iligal na droga.
Mismong mga kasamahan ko, kaibigan ko, naging sample sila, naging halimbawa sila, nung tinumba sila. So nakaramdam ako ng takot.
Tutukan sa On Assignment ngayong Lunes alas 8 ng gabi dito sa inyong People's Television. Limampung taon ng tapat na pagseserbisyo, kailanman, kahit saan, para sa bayan. Reaching the Filipino from every corner of the country via terrestrial TV. In Luzon, PTV 8 Cordillera, PTV 4 Manila, PTV 4 Palawan, and PTV 4 Naga. In the Visayas, PTV 11 Cebu, PTV 2 Guimaras, PTV 10 Dumaguete, PTV 12 Calbayog, and PTV 8 Tacloban. And in Mindanao, PTV 11 Pagadian, PTV 11 Sibugay, PTV 11 Davao, PTV 8 Agusan del Sur, PTV 8 Cotabato, PTV 7 Zamboanga, and PTV 48 Davao del Norte. And through the power of 6 digital transmitting stations, PTV 14 Manila, PTV 42 Cordillera, PTV 46 Naga, PTV 42 Cebu, PTV 23 Guimaras, and PTV 45 Davao. Connecting with the rest of the world in the era of digital technology. Through the power of television and our extensive online network, we continue crossing borders to serve the timeless news and information, bridging public service through innovative programs, fostering pride in the Filipino, and inspiring the people to be active partners in nation building. Noon hanggang ngayon, kasama mong naglilingkod. PTV.
Para sa bayan. Ang susunod na programa ay rated PG. Ito ay nangangailangan ng patnubay at gabay ng magulang para sa mga batang manonood.
Tonight's top stories. The country's resupply mission in the Ayungin Shoal succeeds despite harassment, blocking, and dangerous maneuvers from the China Coast Guard. The Department of Foreign Affairs files another diplomatic protest against China's latest aggressive actions in the West Philippine Sea. The Philippines and Timor-Leste vow to join hands to form bilateral social security agreement, boost educational cooperation, and explore possibilities of having direct flights between the two nations. Foreign direct investments records lower net inflows of $789 million in August compared to $792 million in the same period last year. Motorists can heave a sigh of relief as a big-time fuel price rollback is expected next week. World-famous chef and TV personality Gordon Ramsay is set to open his first restaurant, the Gordon Ramsay Bar and Grill in the country next year. These stories and more on PTV News Tonight. Good evening. Welcome to PTV News Tonight. Here we go again. The latest resupply mission by the Philippine Coast Guard has been marred by yet another display of roughhousing and bullying in the high seas by Chinese vessels. This mission still got through, and the government and the AFP will just have to tough it out until help comes the country's way. Our Bea Bernardo on the country's compliance to a rules-based order in the high seas in the face of lawlessness and abuse.
In this video, China Coast Guard and Chinese maritime militia vessels are seen surrounding a Philippine Coast Guard ship. According to the National Task Force for the West Philippine Sea, the China Coast Guard vessel 5203 used water cannon against the Philippine supply vessel ML Kalayaan to block it from reaching the BRP Sierra Madre and keep them from delivering much-needed supplies and replenishment to the troops assigned there and guarding the nation's sovereign rights and territory. China also harassed another resupply vessel, the Onaisa May 1. The Foreign Affairs Department filed a diplomatic protest against China and reached out to them through the Maritime Communications Mechanism. The Embassy of the Philippines in Beijing has also expressed this to Chinese Foreign Ministry. The task force condemns China's aggressive action against the legitimate routine Philippine rotation and resupply mission in the Ayungin Shoal. Especially, it puts the lives of the crew in danger. But they assured they will not be threatened by China's action. The resupply vessel successfully delivered the supply to replenish the BRP Sierra Madre. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. commends the bravery of the members of the Armed Forces of the Philippines and PCG despite the challenges they face to serve the nation. Bea Bernardo for The Nation.
The government is on a mission to keep reinforcing the armed forces of the tools and training it needs to respond to acts of hostility and aggression, such as the continued harassment of the country's Philippine Coast Guard vessels in the country's exclusive economic zone. But any response to such attacks or acts shall always be met with a response based on maintaining peace and the rule of law, as our Mela Lesmoras details in this report.
The government is enhancing the capability of the armed forces of the Philippines not for war but to maintain peace and uphold sovereignty. This according to House Speaker Martin Romualdez as he graced the Defense Forum organized by the National Defense College of the Philippines Alumni Association at Camp Aguinaldo in Quezon City.
We must remember that a strong defense is not merely a tool for confrontation, but a means to uphold peace, stability, and the rule of law. Make no mistake about it, the House of Representatives fully supports the position of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. that we should continue to assert our sovereignty in the West Philippine Seas and that we should defend every inch of our territory.
During his speech, Speaker Romualdez underscored the crucial role of the AFP in protecting the nation's sovereignty amid ongoing global tensions, especially in the WPS. Earlier today, he strongly condemned the latest aggressive actions of the Chinese Coast Guard against our troop in the West Philippine Sea, labeling it as an unprovoked act of hostility. He then called on the international community, especially ASEAN neighbors and allies, to be united in denouncing these actions and upholding principles like freedom of navigation, the rule of law, and the preservation of peace in the region.
Our nation stands at the pivotal juncture where the ripples of global tensions are felt even within the serene waters of the West Philippine Sea. It is here that our brave men and women in uniform stand as sentinels of our sovereignty, safeguarding our nation's territory against the ceaseless tides of adversity.
With all this, Speaker Romualdez reaffirmed the all-out support of the House of Representatives to the defense sector so they can do their job to the best of their abilities and protect our national interest.
Your representatives in the 19th Congress fully support the increased allocation for the defense sector under the proposed 5.768 trillion pesos 2024 national budget to bolster the country's capability in protecting its territorial integrity. Our commitment to safeguarding our territorial integrity and ensuring safety to our citizens remains unwavering.
Melalas Moras for the Nation.
Political cooperation, heightened policy consultations, an air services agreement allowing direct flights from both countries to each other, and a social securities agreement to protect migrant workers working in their host countries are just a few of the bilateral agenda discussed in today's face-off between the country's leaders and their counterparts from Timor-Leste. The full report care of our Kenneth Paciente.
The bilateral meeting between President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. and Timor-Leste President Jose Ramos Horta during his state visit has been productive. The two leaders discussed topics beneficial to both countries, such as political cooperation. President Marcos Jr. said they agreed to instruct their ministries to intensify negotiations on policy consultation that can strengthen the two countries' relationship. Other points included exploring direct flights under the Air Services Agreement and discussing a bilateral social security agreement to ensure the safety of each country's professionals working in each other's countries. Educational cooperation in higher education institutions was also emphasized. President Marcos Jr. highlighted the Philippines' commitment to assist Timor-Leste in skills formation, especially in food processing, and expressed intent to enhance technical cooperation.
The Philippines also committed to assist Timor-Leste in the skills formation of the Timorese people. In recent months, under the direction of our Technical Cooperation Council of the Philippines, an attached agency of the Department of Foreign Affairs, we have deployed a team from our Department of Science and Technology who assisted the Timorese people in enhancing skills on food processing. We committed to increase engagements in such technical cooperation, and we have tasked our respective ministries to explore and enhance future partnerships on this matter.
The president also shared the Timorese president has given suggestions in addressing challenges in the West Philippine Sea, acknowledging the importance of a rules-based international law and UNCLOS adherence in dealing with geopolitical issues.
That is with gratitude that we also have received the expressions of support from the President for the Philippines in terms of the rules, our adherence to a rules-based international law, to UNCLOS, and of all the different issues that we are facing, geopolitical issues that we are facing around the world. Once again, the experience of the President has shown what the Philippines can do to further our discussion and our argument as to the continued adherence of all parties to a rules-based system and international law.
At 9 in the morning today, Jose Ramos Horta arrived at Malacanang Palace for his state visit. He received arrival honors and a warm welcome from President Marcos Jr. and several government officials. President Marcos Jr. emphasized the honor of the Timorese president's visit to the Philippines. He expressed hope for further strengthening the relationship between the two countries and underscored his support for Timor-Leste's membership in ASEAN.
The Philippines has always been very supportive of not only the process of independence that East Timor went through, but also for your involvement in international relations and international events and issues that we feel are necessary for us to be able to come together and for us to be able to make a difference and to maintain the peace and the stability in our region.
The Timorese president extended his gratitude for the strong support of the Philippines in their journey for independence. He also thanked the Philippines for backing their full-fledged membership in ASEAN.
We are now working around the clock to implement the milestones, and we feel confident that we could join, at least between myself and our Prime Minister, Ms. Shanana Guzman. We have established for ourselves 2025, we should be ready to fully be a member of ASEAN.
Kenneth Pasyente for the Nation.
The country's foreign direct investment, or FDI, posted net inflows of $789 million in August. The figure is slightly lower than the $792 million net inflows recorded for the same month last year. Such marginal decline in the FDI net inflows reflect the contraction in non-residents' net investments.
The Philippines' share of the total liabilities to gross domestic product, or GDP, went up in the third quarter of 2023. The Bureau of the Treasury, or BTR, says with a 5.9% GDP expansion in the third quarter of the year, the debt-to-GDP ratio improved to 60.2% from 61% in the previous quarter. Debt-to-GDP is widely used as an indicator to track debt sustainability.
Meanwhile, Maynilad customers in Quezon City cried foul over the yellowish water coming out of their faucets these past few days. Sure enough, the issue made the rounds on social media and eventually came to the attention of the Metropolitan Waterworks and Sewerage System Regional Office, or MWSS RO, that immediately conducted an investigation based on MWSS's initial probe. A high level of manganese from raw water caused the discoloration.
Kasi po, ang Angat Dam po, nakukuha po nila yung tubig sa taas po normally. Sa taas po ng dam, lumalabas yung tubig. Mayroon pong backup system po sa baba ng sa dam. Isipin nyo, let's say, ilang feet po yon. Sa baba, sa gitna po nun, ay may butas po doon na pwede din po mag-draw ng tubig in case of emergencies. Ngayon po ay nagkakaroon po sila ng repair sa taas po. So doon po ngayon nagdo-draw ng tubig in the meantime while inaayos po yung Angat Dam sa taas.
Good news for motorists. A big-time rollback is expected for all petroleum products next week. Based on oil industry sources, diesel prices may drop to 2 pesos and 40 centavos to 2 pesos and 70 centavos per liter, while the cost per liter of kerosene may decrease by up to 1 peso and 85 centavos. Gasoline prices may be slashed by 60 to 80 centavos per liter. According to the Department of Energy Oil Industry Management Bureau, the expected oil price rollback is due to demand destruction worries with falling demand of the U.S. and China's weak exports.
The Philippine Statistics Authority reported the palay production increased to 0.4% in the third quarter. The rice production from July to September rose to 5.04 million metric tons, slightly higher compared to the 5.03 million tons in the previous quarter. PSA added the seasonally adjusted farm gate price of palay in the said quarter surged to 20.24 pesos per kilogram or 7.9% from 18.76 pesos per kilogram in the second quarter.
Department of Finance Secretary Benjamin Diokno says that the country has joined the OECD, or Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. This and other stories in tonight's Business News Wrap-Up. The Philippine Statistics Authority, or PSA, reports the country's manufacturing sector picked up the pace in growth in September. Data from the monthly integrated survey of industry showed the value of production index expanded by 8.9% from the previous 7.5%. Department of Finance, or DOF Secretary Benjamin Diokno disclosed the country has joined as a member of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or OECD, G20 Inclusive Framework on Base Erosion and Profit Shifting, or BEPS. This to uphold tax fairness and advocate international tax cooperation. The DOF chief highlighted the country's goal to contribute to tax reform discussions. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, or BSP, said more local government units, or LGUs, ramped up efforts to borrow funds for their respective projects. LGUs increased their lending activities, particularly in the first semester of this year, to fund mainly infrastructure projects. The Government Service Insurance System, or GSIS, reported an increase in interest for its multi-purpose program, or MPL Flex, among public school teachers and other members. GSIS shared the number of MPL Flex loans has already surpassed the 50.131 billion pesos worth of disbursements since the program was launched in October. Shorm Zespina for The Nation.
Meanwhile, the Philippine Statistics Authority reported the inflation rates in Western Visayas, Bicol, and Ilocos regions slowed down in October. In Western Visayas, inflation eased to 5.4% from September 6.6%, while the inflation rate in the Bicol region decelerated to 4.7% from 5.6% in the previous month. The Ilocos region also posted slower rate from 5.1% to 3.7%. PSA added the decline in prices of food commodities contributed to the slowing down of the inflation rates in some regions.
Up next, a travel analysis firm says international flight bookings have declined since the Israel-Hamas war started. More details to follow after some important reminders. Don't go away.
Saan mapapanood ang PTV?
Sa bawat sulok ng Pilipinas.
Reaching millions of Filipinos across the country through the power of terrestrial TV.
Abot na abot namin ang mga Pilipino para sa tapat na balita at impormasyon.
Dito'y Cordillera, kan Intero ang Luzon. Da kami, timapang namnamaan.
Sa aton sa Visayas, wala kami mapugong sa pagpaabot sa unsang hitabo.
Dini sa saad ng yuta, Mindanao, PTV, pirmi maminaw para sa paghatod sa balita.
Broadcasting in Luzon, PTV4 Manila, PTV8 Cordillera, PTV4 Naga, and PTV4 Palawan. In the Visayas, PTV11 Cebu, PTV10 Dumaguete, PTV2 Guimaras, PTV8 Tacloban, and PTV12 Calbayog. And in the heart of Mindanao, PTV11 Davao City, PTV8 Cotabato, PTV7 Zamboanga, PTV11 Sibugay, PTV11 Pagadian, PTV48 Davao del Norte, and PTV8 Agusan del Sur. PTV Regional Network, buong katapatang naghahatid ng balitang maaasahan para sa inyong pambansang TV. Ang mga may init na balitang tumatak ngayong linggo sa Mundo ng Sports.
A former PBA player, one of the big men of the 80s.
Gusto ko rin yung nakikita pa rin ako ng mga yung nakakakilala sa akin, yung mga nagugustuhan yung paglalaro namin.
Bilang isang award-winning race car driver sa loob at labas ng bansa, mahalaga sa decorated athlete na si Myla Rivera ang mapalaganap ang kanyang advokasya sa road safety.
And it's all physiology, actually. Yung tayo ng katawan natin, yung stance, contributes to how our blood flow works. It also eventually translates to how our mind is when we're driving.
PTV Sports, ngayong Sabado, alas 4:30 ng hapon, dito lang sa PTV.
Department of the Interior and Local Government Chief Ben-Hur Abala shared a piece of unsolicited advice to the PNP as its budget for next year was taken up in today's Senate budget hearing. He said unless the allegations are serious and backed up by evidence, to just ignore word from the grapevine. This as the budget of the Philippine Statistics Authority was also on today's agenda that our Daniel Manalastas sums up in this report.
During the Senate budget deliberations of the Department of Interior and Local Government, Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri gave a piece of advice to the Philippine National Police on how to handle the issue on the alleged destabilization plot against the government, especially if it is just an hearsay and there's no truth about it.
If there's no truth to it and there's no seriousness on this issue on the destabilization plots, if it's just a mere haka-haka, I would like to remind these agencies to just play it down.
The PNP, through their budget sponsor, insist there is no brewing destabilization plot.
According to the Chief PNP, they have not monitored any plot within the police, and there's no reason to rise up against the government.
Meanwhile, as Vice President and Education Secretary Sara Duterte will no longer pursue the confidential funds for her two offices, some senators weigh in on the Vice President's move.
And even if walang allegation ng anomalya, if the possibility na mabulsa o magkaroon ng anomalya is so great, I hope we find alternatives.
According to Senate Minority Leader Coco Pimentel, it is part of a public servant's responsibility to explain funds given to their office. Pimentel said, although technically VP Duterte already explained by submitting the required report,
iba yung process to audit dati. It's a specialized expedited process. Pero even with that process, sana i-audit ng tamang tao or ahensya, and that is the COA.
The proposed budgets of more agencies are expected to be tackled next week as Senate Marathon budget deliberations continue. Daniel Manalastas for The Nation.
Oil prices went up but might eventually fall for a third week due to signs of slowing demand and the anticipation of a crucial OPEC meeting. Brent crude futures went up 84 cents to $80.85 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate settled at $76.89. Both benchmarks, however, are projected to fall by about 5% within the week. In the meantime, the British economy flatlined in the third quarter of 2023 ahead of the issuance of budget statement from the UK government. The British economy hopes to bolster growth in time for the national elections. The Office of National Statistics says growth from July to September was zero compared to the 3 months prior to the said period.
South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida are set to attend a technological roundtable on November 17. This while the two leaders participate in the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation or APEC Summit in San Francisco next week. They are expected to discuss cooperation in technology and three-way cooperation with the United States. Travel analysis firm Forward Key said travel demand worldwide has fallen since the start of the Israel-Hamas conflict. People living in the U.S. reportedly canceled their trips to the Middle East and around the globe. The international flight bookings dropped 5% across regions on average, impacting the global recovery in international travel from the pandemic.
And here are the results of tonight's multi-million peso lotto draws from the PCSO.
Lotto players, for those who missed our draws today, November 10, 2023. I will be doing a recap of the winning numbers. Let's start with the results of the 2 p.m. draw for the 2D Lotto, 10 and 21 in exact order. 3D Lotto, 5, 6, and 1 in exact order. And the results of the 5 p.m. draw for the 2D Lotto, 21 and 8 in exact order. 3D Lotto, 3, 8, and 7 in exact order. And finally, the results of the 9 p.m. draw for the 2D Lotto, 12 and 16 in exact order. 3D Lotto, 6, 8, and 3 in exact order. 4D Lotto, 1, 5, 2, and 4 in exact order. For the Mega Lotto 645, 6, 41, 13, 37, 34, and 8 in any order. For the jackpot prize of 8,910,000 pesos, net of the agent's prize commission. And for the Ultra Lotto 658, 45, 55, 40, 4, 8, and 44 in any order. For the jackpot prize of 112,152,500 pesos and 60 centavos, net of the agent's prize commission. May jackpot winners ba tayo tonight? Ayon po sa PCSO Data Center for the Mega Lotto 645. No jackpot winner at sa ating Ultra Lotto 658. Also no jackpot winner. That's all for tonight. Romy Season for the PCSO. Lottery draw recap. Thank you and good evening.
The local stock market plunged on the last trading day of the week. The Philippine Stock Exchange Index dipped 26.33 points or 0.43%, closing at 6,161.89, while the broader all shares dropped 12.52 points or 0.38%. Finishing at 3,316.86. All sectoral indices except for services ended in the negative territory. Total volume of shares traded amounted to 311 million, worth 2.760 billion pesos. Losers outnumbered gainers 102 to 65, with 45 issues left unchanged. Give you the latest buzz here in Pop Culture Corner. First up, internationally renowned chef Gordon Ramsay is set to open up his first restaurant in the Philippines. The Gordon Ramsay Bar and Grill will have its own branch at the Newport World Resorts in Pasay City next year. It will be the second in Southeast Asia after Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. The soon-to-open restaurant will offer a curated selection of rare breed steaks, grilled specialties, fresh market seafood, and the iconic beef Wellington. The Broadway musical Here Lies Love is closing on November 26. According to Variety Report, the said musical, which narrates the life story of former First Lady Imelda Marcos, will end after 33 previews and 149 performances due to low ticket sales. The preview performances have started running on June 17 and officially open on July 20th.
The easterlies will affect the weather conditions over southern Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao regions. Based on Pag-asa's update, this weather system will also prevail in Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Meanwhile, the northeast monsoon will bring partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated light rains in Batanes and Babuyan Islands. Let's find out what the weather will be like in key Philippine and Asian cities. Coming up, the annual lighting of the giant Christmas tree in Araneta Center. Don't go away, PTV News Tonight will return.
PTV Consumer Watch, bantay presyo sa gasolina. Ngayong linggo sa Masters of the Game.
Musmus pa lamang si Akiko nang unang lumusong sa swimming pool kasama ng mga kapatid. Parang natural lamang na maging bahagi ang paglangoy sa kanyang buhay.
I was very active. I loved racing and the water was a comfortable element.
Nang siya ay magretiro, hindi niya maiwasang tumulong sa sport sa kahit anong paraan.
Masters of the Game. Ngayong linggo, alas 8 ng gabi. Dito lang sa PTV. Disaster Watch. Mga paalala pagkatapos ng lindol. Suriin ang iyong sarili at mga kasama kung may tinamong pinsala. Magbigay ng paunang lunas kung kailangan. Unahin ang mga pangangailangan ng mga matatanda, buntis, may kapansanan at mga bata. Kung nasa tabing dagat at may banta ng tsunami, agad na lumikas papunta sa ligtas at mataas na lugar. Suriin kung may natapong nakalalasong kemikal at mga bagay na maaaring pagmula ng sunog. Huwag bumalik sa loob ng gusali hanggat walang abiso na ligtas na ito. Sa panahon ng sakuna, dapat laging listo. Ngayong Sabado, sa aksyon, laban sa kahirapan.
Tunay na malaking epekto ng kaguluhan sa buhay ng ating mga kababayan.
Bigla kong tinawagan. Oy, sa Marawi ngayon? May nagbabakbakan.
Na itong nangyaring hidwaang ito ay may pinagmulan. Merong rason, may ugat yan.
Gusto ko pong mangyari sa buhay namin, sa buhay ko, sa buhay ng mga kasama namin, na mabigyan kami ng hustisya, mabigyan kami ng livelihood program.
Samahan niyo kaming pakinggan ang boses ng ilang makakaliwang grupo at ano ang naging tugon dito ng gobyerno.
Sabado ng hapon, dito sa inyong People's Television.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. declared 2023 to 2033 as dekada ng kasaysayan ng Pilipinas. This to boost Filipinos' nationalism, respect for heroes, and pride for accomplishment. Under the Proclamation 396, the National Historical Commission of the Philippines, or NHCP, is ordered to lead and supervise, identify programs and activities for the observance of the said event.
An unintended consequence has arisen from the Timor-Leste President Jose Ramon Horta's 4-day state visit to the country. It so happens that highly wanted and fugitive from the law ex-Congressman Arnie Teves Jr., wanted for the alleged homicide and murder of Negros Oriental Governor Roel de Gamo, has sought refuge and safe haven in Timor-Leste. So the Justice Secretary needs to get in touch with his counterpart from Timor-Leste and arrange a deal which would lead to the arrest or extradition of the Solon on the run. And Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Remulla vows to bring home the erstwhile lawmaker so he can be afforded due process and justice to be ultimately earned.
I'll be in contact with one of their top officials to follow up on this matter. Ito, basically ako, ang concern ko, the process of bringing Teves home for trial, to stand trial. He's still there. He has bodyguards. Well guarded, living an easy, wealthy life. Obviously, living off the fat from his illegal activities.
A number of senators wanted to see for themselves the interior of the Pasay City Pogo Hub recently busted for illegal activities. The shuttered Pasay City Pogo Hub had all the trappings of a Pogo Hub / KTV / prostitution den. The furniture and fixtures are identical or resembles your typical casino fronting as a white slavery den. And right then and there, the inspection team of senators decided to hold an ad hoc meeting and came to the agreement of a failure to enforce regulation that stands out as the problem, calling into question PAGCOR's failure to keep the bad actors in line and into account. And then again, PAGCOR was up to the task of only canceling their licenses but could only depend on law enforcement and/or the DOJ to put the lawbreakers away.
November 8, 2013 was the day Typhoon Yolanda hit eastern and central Visayas, Palawan, and Mindoro really hard, killing thousands in their sleep, displacing and uprooting even more from their homes, and leaving Tacloban City in complete shambles and utter ruin. It was the biggest lesson learned by the people of the provinces that Yolanda tore through and laid waste on, and even the country at large. With people ever so responsive and compliant to weather advisories and emergency alerts, the DOST, FIVOX, and PAG-ASA are mulling ways or developing solutions and or software to keep the public forewarned earlier on bad or nasty weather coming their way or about to strike. Flood forecasting / warning was also taken up as well as earthquake evacuation, as well as tsunami and storm surge advisories. Communication is key in risk reduction and disaster mitigation, especially if technology-based solutions come in timely or even early, so the public or those concerned can get prepared.
The LRT-1 Cavite Extension Civil and System Works is 94.1% complete. The Light Rail Management Corporation, or LMRC, said the construction of the 5 new stations are on track for its 2024 opening. Among the stations that are almost complete are Redemptorist Station, the Manila International Airport Station, Asia World Station to be connected to the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange, Ninoy Aquino Station, and Dr. Santos Station.
Visual artists were recognized in the first ever nationwide art contest spearheaded by Sentro Artista and Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office. This is proof of the government's commitment to the promotion of the arts in all its various forms. Noel Talakay tells us more.
These are the masterpieces of visual artists in the country, included in top 60 paintings for the first ever nationwide art contest, spearheaded by Sentro Artista in cooperation with the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office, or PCSO. This evocative painting with the title "We Are One Family" emerged as the grand winner. It is a creation of Eduardo Pereras, who received the ₱1 million grand prize.
Sobrang overwhelming na hindi ko ina-expect talagang makukuha yung grand prize kasi parang pag grand prize napaka-imposibleng makuha talaga. Pwede kong gawing ipinta na hindi ka nagdadalawang isip para tulungan ng isang kapwa kasi pamilya yung turing mo sa kanya. Kaya doon ako nag-umpisa mag-conceptual na mother and child yung gagawin ko.
The artwork of Richard de la Cruz, proclaimed as the third place winner, received a 150,000 pesos cash prize, while the 250 pesos cash prize was handed to visual artist Wilfredo Labanan for being proclaimed second place winner. And there are 9 outstanding paintings received 75,000 pesos each as consolation prize. According to Sentro Artista, organizer of the art contest, they opened opportunities to all neophyte visual artists in the country due to overwhelming entries of the paintings and world-class masterpieces. The organizer concluded it as successful.
We're happy na nabigyan sila ng motivation na ilabas ang galing nila kasi yung premyo talagang nakakaengganyo.
PCSO General Manager Mel Robles also said he feels happy and contented on the turnout of the event. He also expressed his gratitude to all visual artists who participated in and hoping the event will continue and flourish in the coming years.
Sa pamamagitan ng patimpalak na ito, lalong pinalalalim nito yung aming pangunawa at ang aming desire to promote charity and continue to work for our countrymen.
The inspiration of this year's theme, which is Hindi Umuurong sa Pagtulong, is derived from the undying charity works of the PCSO.
Doon sa mapipiling 12 finalists, ang mga ito ay ilalagay namin sa aming kalendaryo. So we hope umabot po ito for the 2024 calendar at but definitely i-display natin to sa gusali ng PCSO.
The event was graced by familiar personalities like Mayor Joe Belmonte of Quezon City, Mayor Francis Zamora of San Juan City, and award-winning actress Sylvia Sanchez and her son Arjo Ataide, who is a representative of Quezon City's 1st District. First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos supported the art contest as she took the lead in the art gallery ribbon cutting. She also presented the grand winner. The selection of top 60 was held last month from 640 entries of painting submitted by several equally talented visual artists coming from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. The top 6 masterpieces will be displayed at the ground floor in one of the malls in Green Hills, San Juan City until November 12, 2023, after which it will be transferred to Sentro Artista in Quezon City. Noel Talakay for The Nation.
Various documentaries nationwide were recognized in the recently concluded National Awarding Ceremony of DocuBata 2023. The People's Television Network's documentary show Public Eye bagged the third best documentary in its Inabel's Threadweavers of Ilocos, while the Inocente online documentary received a Gawad Ramon Bong Osorio Adult Division. Down on the ground, it certainly lights up the sky at night with all its twinkle and sparkle, from 31,000 Christmas balls, cascading lights, pine garlands, and ultra-bright white bulbs put together, and a towering height of 100 feet that eclipses its Norwegian spruce rival at the Rockefeller Center in New York City. And it had quite a lighting and launching ceremony this evening that our Sujin Kim covered in this report.
Araneta City topped the holiday season through its traditional giant Christmas tree lighting ceremony. The star-studded festivity had the theme Your Home This Christmas.
Our theme for this year's Christmas in Araneta City is Your Home This Christmas, mainly because that we have our Fiesta Carnival coming back to its original place. So very familiar yung lahat, and may nostalgia feels again here in Araneta City.
This year, the tree glistens in gold, silver, and a touch of red for the Yuletide season. The tree is adorned with 7,500 warm white bulbs, 20,000 Christmas balls, 3,000 pine garlands, and 250 pieces of red and gold stars. The Christmas tree also has a golden carousel underneath to signify the return of the classic Fiesta Carnival to its original home. Included in the featured performances are stars Vice Ganda, Taylor Sheesh,
para makagaan ang pakiramdam nila, makakuha sila ng inspirasyon para doon, mula doon, yung pagkakasundo-sundo, napakalaking bagay, lalo na sa panahong ito na napakaraming di pagkakaunawaan, na napakaraming tao, napakaraming mga, di ba? Ang gulo-gulo ng mundo. So, sa munting paraan man lang ng pagpapakita namin ng pagkakasundo-sundo, makadagdag kami sa mga magagandang nangyayari sa Pilipinas.
The tree was first lit in 1981, marking this the 42nd year of the traditional Yuletide event. One of the best parts about Christmas is hearing people's Christmas wishes.
I really hope that everyone has a great time with their family. I really hope that we're slowly able to come together, kind of have that Christmas spirit once again, and of course, eat lots of food, be happy.
It was definitely an eventful and colorful evening. Sujin Kim for The Nation.
And news overseas, U.S. President Joe Biden is the staunchest supporter of Israel in its war against Hamas and mission of destruction in Gaza. Indonesian President Joko Widodo, however, is also the leader of the largest Muslim country. And they will be meeting on Monday at the White House, where there will be awkwardness and a tinge of anxiety, as VOA's White House Bureau Chief Patsy Widakuswara reports.
Indonesian cities have erupted in pro-Palestinian rallies since the October 7 Hamas attack, and emotions are strong.
Apa yang dilakukan oleh Hamas?
What Hamas and the Palestinian people did against the invaders Israel was their way of fighting to achieve their independence. There's nothing wrong, because that is also what the heroes of the Indonesian nation did when they fought to achieve independence.
That passion will be on Indonesian President Joko Widodo's mind as he meets President Joe Biden at the White House Monday.
Not a single Indonesian president has dared not to defend Palestine. Our founding fathers have laid the foundation of our foreign policy: non-aligned, free and active, defend the oppressed.
The two sides have a large gap to bridge, particularly on a ceasefire in Gaza, but are keen to maintain good relations.
The two leaders will also coordinate on efforts to reinforce ASEAN centrality and uphold international law and promote a free and open Indo-Pacific.
A key goal for Indonesia, a limited free trade agreement on critical minerals that will allow Indonesian nickel used in electric vehicle batteries to qualify for tax incentives under the 2022 U.S. Inflation Reduction Act. Indonesia has the world's largest nickel reserves, which it mines and refines largely with Chinese financing.
The U.S. is eager to invest in this area, especially because I think, through the lens of China competition, making sure that the nickel industry in Indonesia is not completely dominated there would be a crucial strategic interest.
Some American lawmakers are against the deal due to heavy Chinese investment, labor, and environmental concerns in the Indonesian nickel industry. Patsy Widakuswara, VOA News, Washington.
In the meantime, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is totally opposed on any talks of a ceasefire or humanitarian truce, saying it only affords Hamas to regroup and recoil. But he has finally relented on continued pressure from Washington, D.C. on a 4-hour pause in the bombing and shooting that allows the IDF to bring in reinforcements and replenish supplies. VOA senior diplomatic correspondent Cindy Sain reports.
As thousands of Palestinians fled the fighting and Israel's bombing, U.S. President Joe Biden was asked whether there was any chance of a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, and he replied, none. He was also asked if he's getting frustrated with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for not listening to U.S. requests.
It's taking a little longer than I hoped.
The Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry says more than 10,000 people have been killed in the territory since the Hamas attack on Israel that killed 1,400 people and triggered the war. At the State Department daily briefing Thursday, Deputy Spokesperson Vedant Patel provided some details about Israel's announcement that it has agreed to 4-hour daily humanitarian pauses in the fighting in northern Gaza.
There will be 2 humanitarian corridors allowing people to flee the areas of hostilities in the northern part of Gaza. The first such corridor, open between 4 and 5 hours every day for the past few days, has already enabled many thousands of people to reach safer areas. The second route along the coastal road will enable many more thousands to reach safer areas in the south.
On Capitol Hill Wednesday, anti-Israeli government protesters showed up to a hearing where most Democratic and Republican lawmakers expressed their strong support for Israel. But some Democrats were troubled by the large number of civilians killed in Gaza. Democratic member Joaquin Castro said Israel has fired more than 20,000 bombs on Gaza and only about 5 hostages have been released.
It seems to me that Prime Minister Netanyahu is prioritizing collective punishment over the release of hostages. And I'm very concerned about that.
Another Democrat was concerned that new House Speaker Mike Johnson might be playing politics with U.S. military funding for Israel.
Speaker Johnson brought an Israel-only supplemental to the floor. This supplemental is unprecedented. It conditions aid to Israel on domestic policy objective and stands no chance of passing through the United States Senate.
The Republican chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Michael McCall, said he agrees.
And let me just say, I too agree we need to move swiftly on a national security aid package that both addresses the threat from Russia to Ukraine and Europe, the threat from Communist China to Taiwan and the Pacific, the threat from the Ayatollah in Iran to Israel by its proxies in the southwest border.
The Democratic majority Senate will not take up the $14.3 billion bill providing funding for Israel's air and missile defense systems passed by the Republican majority House of Representatives last week. Democrats objected to Republicans paying for the aid to Israel by making cuts to the budget of the Internal Revenue Service, the agency responsible for taxation. Cindy Sain, VOA News.
Meanwhile, here's a recap of today's lottery draws. For the 2 p.m. draw, the winning numbers are 5, 6, 1 for the 3D Lotto and 1021 for 2D Lotto. For the 5 p.m. draw, the lucky numbers for the 3D Lotto are 3, 8, 7, and 21-8 for 2D Lotto. For the 9 p.m. draw, beginning with the 4D Lotto, the winning numbers are 1, 5, 2, and 4. And for the 3D Lotto, the winning numbers are 6, 8, and 3. And the lucky numbers for 2D Lotto is 12 and 16 in exact order. For the Ultra Lotto 658 draw, the jackpot prize of 112,152,500 pesos and 60 centavos. The lucky numbers are 45, 55, 40, 4, 8, and 44. For the Mega Lotto 645 draw, the jackpot prize of 8,910,000 pesos. The lucky numbers are 6, 41, 13, 37, 34, and 8. There are no winners for the Ultra Lotto 658 and Mega Lotto 645 draws. And we wind up this week's newscast with this food for thought from best-selling author of business books, speaker, entrepreneur, and real estate mogul Grant Cardone. Forbes magazine named him as #1 marketer to watch in 2017, and he says, "Never lower your target, increase your actions." This I agree with. If you have a goal that you have been fighting for day in and day out since you were little or maybe even recently, I think that you should not let recent or even past experiences and hurdles make you stop from doing what you're doing. So instead of saying, yes, it's okay to cut costs, but maybe you should also raise your ways of earning more. William?
Yes, and if Plan A doesn't work, then we can go with Plan B. But I think, we shouldn't compromise if we want it enough. That's where passion will drive you.
And there are now only 45 days left before Christmas. And so goes PTV News Tonight's roundup of tomorrow's headline stories. I'm Sharms Espina.
And I'm William Theo. Join us again next week on PTV News Tonight.
Have a great weekend.
Check out your dream machines with veteran journalist Ron De Los Reyes in one of the longest-running motoring shows on Philippine television. Auto Review, Saturday afternoons, only here on PTV. PTV Consumer Watch, bantay presyo sa gasolina.
Susunod na programa ay rated PG. Ito ay nangangailangan ng patnubay at gabay ng magulang para sa mga batang manonood.
Pleasant greetings, y'all. Proud Filipina Sharms Espina here, who believes July 20th, 1969 as one of the top 3 achievements of humankind. Those 8 words from Mission Commander Neil Armstrong, and I quote, "Tranquility Base here, the Eagle has landed," still gives me goosebumps of the successful Apollo 11 mission that punctuated JFK's speech in Rice University, vowing to send a man to the moon before the end of the 60s. But in Greek mythology, Apollo had a twin, the goddess of the hunt and the moon, Artemis, after whom a new generation of space explorers and dreamers have associated themselves within a return to the moon and for the next great mission to the Red Planet and beyond. VOA's Inside Story examines their plans and challenges up ahead in this presentation.
This is the largest mission that NASA has taken on.
Humans last stepped foot on the moon in 1972 during NASA's Apollo program. More than 50 years later, that's about to change.
Apollo had a twin sister, Artemis, and this is our generation. And so I think it's a fantastic thing for us to be able to experience, to be able to go explore and really put a presence on the moon.
The Artemis generation, now on the Inside Story. Thanks for joining us. I'm VOA's Midwest correspondent Kane Fairbaugh here at Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The launch and return of the unmanned Orion capsule as part of NASA's Artemis 1 mission marks the beginning of a new chapter in space exploration. As hundreds of analysts and engineers around the world review the data coming in from the mission, planning is underway for the first crewed mission back to the lunar surface in what NASA hopes becomes a long-term presence on the moon.
This is the largest mission that NASA has taken on.
As it traveled farther than any craft designed to carry people, NASA staff watched intently as volumes of data streamed back from Artemis 1's uncrewed Orion capsule.
Data taking, thermal analysis, vibe acoustic.
Analyzing the data from the Orion seat to understand the dynamic response of having the mannequin in there.
And so we want to make sure the spacecraft is set up for those challenges, radiation, things like that.
The Orion capsule's 26-day journey, carrying 3 mannequins tens of thousands of kilometers beyond the moon, tested NASA's ability to one day carry astronauts in a craft where the crew won't have much independent control.
The maneuvers it's going to do are so complicated. For me to have manual control throughout the entire regime of flight actually adds risk that we aren't necessarily trying to buy off on.
We will have astronauts on board. They will monitor all their systems. They'll have 60+ displays that show everything on the vehicle and provide telemetry and command interface to the vehicle. But automation in the background will be operating the mission in its entirety.
NASA's Shanna De Leon, a veteran of the Space Shuttle program, is part of the team working on new and very different technology from that used by the last astronauts to reach the moon.
It's much different than the Apollo era of capsule where you had switch throws and multiple astronauts and you called the astronaut to make actions that would operate the vehicle. Artemis is automated. It's a software-driven vehicle, it's a data-driven vehicle that will automate everything from takeoff through splashdown.
NASA officials expressed confidence in Orion's overall performance, despite some minor technical glitches.
Splashdown.
The agency must now sort through the collected data in preparation for the next step, Artemis 2.
All the data we get is a success. And that's the important thing, is to go off and test that out so we can buy down that risk for Artemis 2.
While SpaceX is also working on a new rocket system to reach the moon to assist in NASA's long-term goals, Program Integration Manager Braniel Rodriguez says the Orion capsule is NASA's craft of choice for the foreseeable future.
This is the start, I think, of a fantastic campaign that's really going to extend our exploration.
Program Manager David Reynolds says the entire future of spaceflight depends on this first uncrewed attempt to return to the moon.
As you tick off the different boxes, you buy down a certain amount of risk for the crewed flight. And so once you have made that determination and we decide that it is safe enough to fly with crew, then we hope we will have considered it a mission success.
It's been more than a half century since astronauts journeyed to the moon. Well, folks, that's about to change.
Standing in Houston, Texas, before the current astronaut corps and veterans of the Apollo and Space Shuttle programs, NASA Administrator Bill Nelson introduced the 4-member crew of Artemis 2, Christina Cook, Victor Glover, Reed Wiseman, and Canadian Jeremy Hansen.
This is humanity's crew.
Reed Wiseman is mission commander for Artemis 2, while Christina Cook and Jeremy Hansen will serve as mission specialists. Cook is set to make history as the first woman on a lunar mission, and Hansen as the first international astronaut to take such a journey, something NASA Administrator Nelson emphasized during the announcement.
We choose to go back to the moon and then on to Mars, and we're going to do it together. Because in the 21st century, NASA explores the cosmos with international partners.
Victor Glover, a U.S. naval aviator, will pilot the Orion spacecraft on the 10-day round-trip mission around the moon, testing the functions of the systems and equipment that future crews will use to eventually return to the lunar surface. In an interview with VOA before last year's Artemis 1 mission, Glover said he embraces the historic opportunity to be the first person of color assigned to a moon mission.
People keep asking me, is it meaningful to you that little black kids look up to you and say they want to be like you? You know what? Let's be honest. I represent America. I'm a naval officer and I work for NASA. I represent America. And little white kids, little Mexican kids, little Hispanic kids, little Iranian kids follow what we're doing, because this is maybe one of the most recognizable symbols in the universe.
The initiative to ensure diversity in NASA's Artemis program was outlined in the Biden administration's $25 billion funding request to Congress for NASA for fiscal year 2022, which includes the moon missions. Agency managers, including Braniel Rodriguez, embrace the mandate.
Apollo had a twin sister, Artemis, and this is our generation. And so I think it's a fantastic thing for us to be able to experience, be able to go explore and really put a presence on the moon.
She is proud to participate in an historic project that will also bring the first woman to the moon.
I think it's important for all of us, right? Whether it is a man or a woman. I think it's fantastic. I think as an agency, as the nation, and even as the world, being able to show that we can explore as humans back to the surface of the moon is really what we need to go off and show, and really be able to then set our presence to go beyond.
To do this once would feel like you're performing.
Danielle Bell teaches marketing and communications at Northwestern University. She focuses on issues of diversity and inclusion and welcomes NASA's initiative, which she hopes is permanent.
When they're transformative and not performative, that happens when the organization lives their values.
Women make up 1/3 of the current group of 41 astronauts at NASA. 12 are people of color. While 16 are experienced pilots, the rest are experts in fields such as geology, medicine, and engineering, bringing professional diversity to the core.
What I can appreciate about this mission is that it's not just about diversity. It's not just about representation. You've got an entire pool that is of diverse backgrounds, right? So check that box.
Not only is the makeup historic, the crew of Artemis II could also venture farther in space than any humans before them, traveling over 1 million total kilometers in a path that extends well beyond the moon before returning back to Earth. NASA says the exact distance and plan depends on a number of factors, including the date of the actual mission launch.
So, am I excited? Absolutely. But my real question is, are you excited?
At the end of the NASA ceremony introducing his crew, Reed Wiseman expressed the determination of the agency to further its goals in space, despite repeated delays and cost overruns.
3 words that we keep saying in this Artemis program: we are going. And I want everybody to say it on 3. 1, 2, 3. We are going!
NASA hopes to launch Artemis II as early as November 2024, with the first mission to the lunar surface as early as 2025.
The European Space Agency has selected 7 of its astronauts that will train side by side with NASA astronauts in the Artemis missions returning to the moon. One of those ESA astronauts is Germany's Alexander Gerst. In the lead up to the launch of Artemis I, we talked with Gerst, a geophysicist and veteran of several missions to the International Space Station, about his hopes for Artemis. How do you feel at this moment on the precipice of what's about to happen? How do you feel right now, knowing that this is a possibility?
Yeah, and to be honest, I think it's quite exciting to be here. Usually as an astronaut, you get more and more calm the closer you get to your launch. Many people think it's the opposite, but actually, you know, your biggest worry as an astronaut is that something gets in the way between you and the launch. You break your leg or a technical problem. So the closer you get to launch, even in the last minutes, you know, this chance is getting smaller and smaller now, and I'm going to be on my way soon. So usually we get calmer the closer we get to launch. There's, of course, our hardware on board from the European Space Agency. We want to make sure that we do our stuff right. We're on the critical path to NASA's strategy to go to the moon, so we want to really make sure that this works. So lots of stuff coming together, and to see this as an astronaut, where usually you're used to have some control, right? You're controlling a vehicle, you're controlling a spaceship. That makes us calm. To know that we can do that. Just standing there, not being able to do anything, that makes us a bit nervous.
The Orion spacecraft is very automated, almost fully automated. Does somebody who's in it want more control of the spacecraft, or is the automation something that you welcome?
Well, automation does not necessarily mean no control, right? So I think it's a good thing that we don't have to fly the spacecraft with 2 joysticks manually without any assistance, because that's actually difficult and dangerous. And I mean, it was one of the highest risk activities of the Apollo program. So having automation for things that the computer can do better than the human actually really helps a lot. And it allows the human to take decisions that are more important, like more high-level decisions. Nevertheless, there will always be, in any kind of spacecraft, the necessity for a human to be able to take high-level decisions and control what the spacecraft in general is doing, right? You want to be able to do a mission aboard. You really need to know what to do when something goes wrong, when the computer fails, right? What is then? What if you have an oxygen leak? What if you have a fire on board? Things like that will always require human interaction.